Hi, this is a work-related law of attraction story. I was working in a small retail store that was owned by my family. And it was a really nice business. It was really easy and it was a great place to work. But it was very seasonal. And I was kind of reaching the point where I was getting bored there and I wanted to do something else. So I remember telling my friend, you know what, I'm not going to work there this summer. It's just going to be too quiet and I just want to do something else. I don't want to work here in the summer. And this was in the spring. So I said, you know, I'm not going to work here in the summer. I'm going to quit and I'm going to go do something else. And of course, all your friends tell you, well, if you want to get another job, you better get a resume. You better go pound the pavement. You better make some phone calls. You better do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, I'll think about it. I don't really know what I'm going to do yet, but I just know that I'm not going to work here anymore. And it was starting to even get slower at that time. So I had a lot of time on my hands, and I'm sort of living my head a lot anyways. So while I was working there, I remember thinking, you know what? I'm going to miss this place when I leave. You know, it was such a great place, and there were so many nice people who came in and stuff. So I was kind of saying goodbye to the place in a way. But I never got a resume. I never made any phone calls. I never looked in the newspaper. I never did anything. I just knew that by the summer I was not going to work there. And anytime my friends asked me about it, they would be like, you've got to go do something. You have to go get a resume. You have to do this. You have to do that. But at this particular time, for whatever reason, I just didn't feel like doing that. I just, you know, something will come up, not to worry. So I get a phone call at my home, and it was an old boss of mine that I used to work for. And I left because I wanted to go to Europe, and so I traveled to Europe, and I sort of decided that I was just going to move on from there. And she said, you know what, we're getting really busy now and we need some help. And I was such a model employee, and one of the reasons why I was such a model employee was because the job before that one I got fired. And I'm telling you, I was the model employee. I was like the best employee because that was a really hard experience for me, so I was really good. So anyway, she just remembered me because I was really good. And she wanted to know, was I looking for work or could I come and work for her? And I said, well, as a matter of fact, sure. But I wanted a raise. So from what I was making there, she said, well, how much do you want? So I added $500 a month to what I was making and told her this is what I wanted. And she said, okay, well, that sounds fair enough if that's what it takes to get you. And she hired me on the phone. And then I started in a couple of weeks. So I had left my other job well in advance of summer. And I never got a resume. I never wrote a resume. I never even did a resume. And when she said, oh, do you have a resume? I said, no. And she said, okay. Just made me, fill out my address and everything, and that was it. So that was a cool law of attraction story because I just knew I was leaving, and I didn't do a single thing except kind of get in the mindset that I was leaving. So I hope you liked my story, and I've got another one on the way.